video today. I really appreciate it, and I'm very happy to have you here with me for another video. This one I'm super excited about because it is about crystals and a crystal haul of all of the babies that I picked up when I went to Southern California recently, which was a really incredible trip. I just put up a vlog of it not too long ago, a 2-part vlog. So if you're interested in that, go check it out. It's right on my channel. And I was supposed to go down to San Diego for a few days to do some wedding makeup, and I ended up extending my stay quite a bit. I think I ended up staying like a week and a half, and I just loved it so much. So I bounced around to a bunch of different places. On my way back to Sacramento, I stayed in Santa Monica, which is one of my favorite places in Los Angeles, and I found myself a lot of really cool crystal shops along the way, which has been one of my favorite things to do over the past couple years. Is anytime I go somewhere, I will look up if they have a crystal shop and I will go check it out. And it's just a good way to like get in touch with like other spiritual kind of like-minded people in that area and get all the good vibes. And of course, if you find a crystal that speaks to you, bring that home and implement it into your life and maybe your spiritual routine. So I was thinking about the video I did. It may have been like already 2 years ago that I did a video on my, I think it's like reasons I love crystals and how I pick them out or something. And that was like back in the beginning, I recall, of my crystal journey. So since then, I've really continued to like dive into what they mean and what they can do for us and their healing properties, and just read a bunch of different books on them that I really love, which also I want to throw in here too and recommend the crystal books I like, and I will put them below. And maybe I was thinking of bringing them into show too, so maybe I'll go grab them at one point. But anyway, I've been reading books. I have a pretty decently sized collection now, I would say, so I've been incorporating them into my meditations and just honing into the different properties of the crystals and what they can kind of do for me spiritually and how they can assist me in my whole healing journey and self-love journey and all of that beautiful, lovely stuff. So I think that's it for the intro. Let's just get into all the crystals that I got in Southern California, and I hope you enjoy the video. Bye! Alright, so let's start with one of my favorite crystals and a very popular one. I'm sure you see this everywhere, and that is rose quartz, which is so beautiful. So first, let me tell you the story of how I picked up this baby, which is the only one I have like this. I have another rose quartz that's like a thinner, pointed crystal, but this one is very wide, which I thought was cool. So it's kind of like a little paperweight, but I really liked the shape of this one and thought it was just stunning. So this one I found in Ocean Beach, which is a part of San Diego that I was very eager to go to because I had heard so many fun things about it. And it's a very hippie town is the best way to describe it, and that's kind of how like everyone was talking about it to me. Like it's very like artsy and hippie, and it certainly was. So it just had like the most cool hippie vibes to it. It was very similar to Venice Beach in that there were a lot of people just kind of like on the beach doing their thing, doing acro yoga, selling, you know, natural soaps and joints. You could definitely buy some joints there if you wanted to smoke. What else? Hemp stuff. They were selling crystals on the beach too. I don't know, just a really cool vibe. There was a cool farmer's market that I went to that had like a ton of vegan food and just very fun. When I got to Ocean Beach, I parked my car, I looked up a couple crystal shops, and one happened to be right down the block from where I parked. So that was perfect. I went in, it was a really cute little space. They had books, they had crystals, they had statues, like lots of really cool statues of like mermaids and all of that cool stuff, kind of mystical things, which I find really interesting. And the woman who worked there was really nice. Usually crystal shop owners are really cool and fun to talk to, so that's another fun thing about going into shops is just kind of talking to the people that work there, because they're obviously usually like very well versed in crystal knowledge, and they're just really cool. So that was another thing. She was cool, and she actually looked so familiar, and after the fact I kind of think she may have been an astronomy teacher of mine in Sacramento, and it was bugging me so much that I almost wanted to call the shop back and ask her if she taught at Sac State. So anyway, I saw this rose quartz almost immediately and I fell in love with it. And that is the thing about crystal shopping, is just trust your gut. When you see a crystal that you are drawn to, that's usually the one you want to purchase if you are looking to purchase one. So this was one of the first ones I saw and I just fell in love. The rose quartz is one of my favorites, not only because it's pink, but because it represents love and is so good for self-love and just represents unconditional, endless, compassionate, beautiful, limitless love. Just the kind of love that we all should be working towards giving ourselves on a daily basis if we don't do it already. So this is such a perfect stone to meditate with if you are practicing self-love, or even to take a bath with. I took a bath with it recently, a few days ago, and to be expected, it is associated with the heart chakra and can really work on helping you forgive and open your heart to forgiveness, which is another very important aspect of just love in general, because, you know, without forgiveness, we can't really get to a place of unconditional love. So that is the rose quartz crystal. So amazing, and I absolutely love this one. There's actually a quote that I wrote down from this book that I'm reading. So let me go grab it because I want to read it from the book. One sec. So here's a book that I actually got in a local shop here in Sacramento. The aesthetic of it was just so my vibe, and I just love these colors and the way the cover was, so I bought it. And I really like it. She's a good person to follow. I think her name's Tamara Dryson, and I actually took one of her online crystal classes, which is really fun, and she posts a lot of cool stuff. So she's a good person to follow for crystal knowledge. Page 221. I just wrote down this quote that had to do with the rose quartz, and I wanted to read it. Okay, it's a Rumi quote that she put in here. Okay, here we go. So she says, there's a saying by Rumi that sums this up beautifully. Your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it. So I just thought that was really beautiful and just says so much about self-love. You know that we're all born with the understanding of unconditional love, but we just go through our lives and kind of end up building these walls. And now as we're doing the healing and coming back to a place of self-love, it's about breaking down those barriers. So that, to me, really sums up what rose quartz can do for you. So that is why I love this. I think this guy is so beautiful. So that is the rose quartz. Let's move on. All right, next let's talk about smoky quartz. So this one looks very similar to the rose quartz that I was talking about, and it is from the same shop. Funny enough, when I first went in there, I didn't purchase it, and then I ended up going, but I saw it and I did like it. I just was like, I'll just stick with one, like let me just get the rose quartz for now. And I also bought a book there as well, which I'll probably share with you too. But I checked out, I bought the rose quartz in the book, and then I went to the beach and I laid on the beach and I read and I hung out with myself, and I could not stop thinking about this smoky quartz. And I bought a really beautiful smoky quartz a few months back locally at a local crystal shop near me. I really love it. So, and it's the only piece of smoky quartz I have. So I just couldn't stop thinking about this one, and on the way back to my car, like I mentioned, the crystal shop was right near my car. So I ran back in and they were just closing up, and she was like, I'll give you a minute if you know what you need. And I was like, I know exactly what I need. So I grabbed this guy. Again, I just love like the way it looks and the size of it and everything like that. So I've learned that the darker stones are typically more for grounding. So if it has a darker color to it, it's more of a grounding stone as opposed to like an energizing stone. So smoky quartz is really good for grounding, self-acceptance, confidence, empowerment, all of those really good things. One of the books I was reading recently said it can really help you to stop procrastinating and step into the power of now, which I kind of need because I'm learning that I am quite the procrastinator sometimes as of lately. So yeah, I've meditated with this one. I really love it. It's just it's a fun stone. You're a fun stone. So yeah, smoky quartz, think confidence, think grounding, think empowerment. It is associated with the crown chakra. So maybe meditating, you'd want to put it on your head and have a good old meditation and get really connected to your higher self and source energy and all that good stuff. So that is my beautiful piece of smoky quartz. All right, next let's talk about amethyst, which is another one of my absolute favorites. So this one I found in a place called Pacific Beach, which was deemed by everyone there as like the college-y part of San Diego. And I went there pretty briefly. It was like one of the, I think it was the last day. I think it was right before I ended up driving home or back to Encinitas. I didn't really have any plans when I got there. I was kind of just gonna walk around, maybe do a little shopping. I was trying to find shopping, I remember that now. And kind of walk by the beach and see the beach, maybe lay on the beach a little bit. I had a towel in my back seat that I had just in case I wanted a little beach time. And so I parked and I got out of my car. I was walking across the street and all I see was like a big sign that said Reiki. I think it said Reiki healing or something. There wasn't really like any sort of storefronty looking place, but I saw that it said Reiki, and then I think I looked closer and there was some sort of sign that said crystals for sale. So I was very drawn to that, obviously, especially since it was right there where I parked, and I knew it was kind of meant to be if I was seeing this sign about Reiki, which is something I'm like so interested in lately too. So I walked through this wooden door that honestly looked like someone's house, but I was like, you know what, I'm just going for it. And I walked in and there was like a little backyard area, and then inside I could see through the windows that there were these women like sitting down, and this woman ran out to me, like the sweetest woman ever, and she's like, oh my god, like, hi, welcome, what's going on? And I was like, I'm just looking to see if you have any crystals for sale. And she was like, oh my god, yes. I think what this was like some sort of yoga collective type of space for the community. I happened to sell crystals in like a little room. So she took me over to the other room, and there were these little shelves all along the wall of different crystals, and she said that the woman who was in charge of the crystals would be in shortly to assist me if I needed anything. So I was really happy that I found that place. It felt really, really, really nice and high vibe, and I just felt very welcomed and happy to find it, especially since it wasn't a plan, and those are my favorite kinds of things. So I knew I was meant to be there, and I looked around at the crystals, and this is the amethyst that I got. Now, this one's so stunning, and you'll see in the footage that I put in here that I take from my camera. I knew I wanted to get this one because of the rainbows in it, and I am a sucker for rainbow anything, and when I saw the way the light caught this amethyst, I was just so blown away because I don't feel like I typically see amethyst so clear, and it was just amazing to me how it was catching the light and the rainbow. So that is why I was drawn to this one immediately. So I got this one. Now, amethyst was one of like my favorite crystals back in the day. A, I think it was because I kind of like saw it everywhere, like it's a very popular crystal and easy to find. And B, when I did a little bit of research on it, I just found out that it has very like calming and soothing properties to it. So it's a good stone for anxiety. And I used to deal with a lot of depression and anxiety. And I also struggled with some addiction things. And amethyst is known to be very good for addiction. So actually, in one of the first crystal books I ever got, I found out that the Greeks back in the day used to use amethyst goblets, and they said it would like prevent them from getting drunk. So it's just known as like a stone to help with, you know, alcohol addiction or any sort of addiction, and again, good for anxiety. So you can think of amethyst as very soothing and calming. And actually, it was yesterday or the day before, I think it was yesterday, I was having a lot of like racing thoughts, and I've been pretty good about this lately, and for some reason yesterday was just one of those days that I was just like, what is going on in my head? And I saw this and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna hold this and really connect with it and center myself for a second. And I did that, and I swear to you, it was like almost instantaneous that I was able to just like calm my mind down. And even I was like shocked about that, like how quickly it worked, because I was really in kind of a dark headspace at that point, and I'm telling you, like, this helped so much. So even just having like a little piece of amethyst in case you struggle with anxiety is really good to have. You can even like throw it in your bag or your wallet, and just knowing that it's there, I feel like, you know, helps, and, you know, can help you in your times of need. So that's why I love amethyst so much. It's associated with the third eye chakra, which is where we kind of see our otherworldly things and our sense of intuition. So I really, really love that. And I haven't actually meditated with it on my third eye, but maybe I will try that. So yeah, it's a good stone for inner peace, calmness. If you struggle with sleep, maybe this one's a good one to sleep with, etc., etc. All of those like very calming properties to it. So that is the amethyst. Okay, so this next one might be my favorite of the whole haul because I love it so much, and it's the first time I've had this kind of crystal. So I got this in a place called Encinitas, which I don't believe is technically San Diego, but a little bit outside. And I spent a fair amount of time there, and I really enjoyed that town. I had seen this place online. I think it's called like Beads, Crystals, and More, but I didn't go to it until the very end, or the second time I ended up in Encinitas. Someone had reached out to me on Instagram and said I should check it out. So I made sure that was kind of the last stop I did in Encinitas, and I can't remember why I knew I wanted celestite, but I did, and that's kind of what I was looking for when I got there. I think it was because I read it in a book that I had bought there, and I was on the beach, and I was like, oh, that looks like a good crystal to pick up, because I was just drawn to it and what I was reading about it. So I got this piece of celestite, which is so stunning. I am just so in love with it, and I can't believe it took me this long to get a piece. So that crystal shop was really awesome. If you're ever in that area and you're a crystal junkie, you have to check it out, because they have really large crystals, and they have just like a really cool selection of them. So they had really big pieces of celestite, which honestly I was like really loving. They had a heart-shaped one that I thought was really beautiful, but I just ended up getting a small one to start with, and it took me a minute to pick it out. I was like really trying to pick intuitively, and sometimes that can be a little hard when you feel like the pressure's on, because sometimes I feel like a nutso because I'm in crystal shops like literally staring at them I could probably stare at them for like 45 minutes and like, you know, try to figure out which one, and then I think I just look like a crazy person because people are like, oh my god, can this girl pick one already? So anyway, that's how I felt with this, because the woman was literally like right there. Like, I think she understood, but still, you know. So anyway, I finally picked this one, and I'm so glad I picked this piece because it just like fits in the palm of my hand like so incredibly. And I drove to Santa Monica from Encinitas, and it was like, how long was it? A 2-hour drive-ish, 2 to 3 hours. I decided I wanted to try to like connect with this crystal on my drive. So I was holding it, I had it in my lap, I was kind of just like, you know, getting in tune with it, and it was really nice. Like, it really made me feel great. So what celestite is known as is like the angelic stone, and I think that's easy to remember because to me it just looks so like ethereal and like princessy and angelic. Oh, it's just kind of easy to remember. It also is blue, like the sky. I think, yeah, celestite, so you would think of celestial, and I think its Latin name, I can't remember the Latin name, something, but means light and heavens. I don't know, I'm gonna have to like write that down here because I kind of forgot. But anyway, I think it's easy to remember that it's like the stone of the angels. So very good for connecting to your angels, your spirit guides, all of that good stuff. And I definitely could kind of like feel that when I held it. It's like giving me a head rush right now as I'm talking. I also slept with it last night, and I don't know what it is about this one. It just makes me feel like really good. So I feel like I have a good connection with this stone, and that's the fun thing. And we can all have our own like unique connections with them. So I feel like this stone lately is the one that like I'm gravitating towards because it just gives me like good vibes and puts me in like a really good mood. And I just feel like, I don't know, I feel good when I hold it. So I literally held it almost the whole time I was in Santa Monica because I just didn't want to put it down because I was so obsessed with it. That's why this one was perfect for me because it could fit in my hand. So I held it in my bag. I was like, I remember I was in the coffee shop and I was just like holding it, and you know, it's just my little companion for the trip and definitely helped me be in my creative zone and, you know, helped me feel good. So that is Celestite for me. Yeah, basically what I wrote down from my book is that it activates higher states of consciousness, which makes sense. So a great stone to meditate with if you are looking to expand your consciousness and connect with something higher than yourself. It would be perfect. And like I said, just makes me feel good and just an uplifting kind of crystal. It's associated with the crown and the throat chakra. Our throat chakras are associated with the blue color, so that makes perfect sense that it would be associated with the throat chakra. Kyanite is another one that's good if you're looking to open up your throat chakra, but this could really help you be able to express yourself a little more boldly and just communicate a little bit better if that's something that you're looking to do. That's something that I have always struggled with, is having my voice. So crystals like this are very, very, very useful for that. And like I said, a blue color is typically associated with the throat, which is, you know, your source of communication. Pretty sure I just repeated myself, but there I go, communicating away. So that is the Celestite, one of my absolute favorites. All right, next up, this is another one that I find so stunning and incredible, and this is the Angel Aura Quartz. Now I got this one also in, I'm looking at it now and it's like so beautiful. I got this one in Ocean Beach as well at a crystal shop that I found online, and I went in and it was a really little place. The guy that worked there was so cool. They actually had a lot of cool pieces too. I'm thinking of this, what was it? Spirit quartz. They had this spirit quartz that was huge, and if I remember, I will insert a video from my Instagram because I'm pretty sure I put it on there, but it was so incredible and yeah, really cool. So they had a lot of good stuff. They had some books, definitely a smaller shop. The guy that worked there was really kind and sweet and knowledgeable. So I ended up getting this Angel Aura Quartz. Now, the first Angel Aura Quartz I got was when I was in Mexico, and I really love that piece. And I remember the woman explained to me that it's kind of essentially like a man-made crystal because what they do is fuse it with platinum, silver, and gold, or so either one of the three or like all together, I believe is what it is. Some sort of man-made process that they do on top of a quartz, but it gives it this like beautiful freaking iridescent sheen that to me is just like the vibe of life. Like this opalescent, rainbowy, like most stunning thing I think I've ever seen. So I love Angel Aura Quartz, and they had a bunch of these little guys. Actually, this was behind the counter, so this was like in a case, so I asked him to pull it out and he did, and I kind of like, you know, intuitively picked the one that I wanted to take home with me, and it was this guy. It has a very uplifting and playful energy. I think one of the books I read said it's like a festival but without the hangover, so it has like festival vibes, which you can kind of like see it and think like Coachella, and yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's a good way to remember what it means. So if you're looking to open your heart and your mind to the angelic realm, this is a great one to meditate with, help promote synchronicities in your life. So if you often see repeating numbers, or if you have a specific angel number, I've had a specific angel number for probably like 5 years that I see all the time, and I know it's my angel number because it's a random number that's personal to me, and I see it literally everywhere. Don't be surprised if you start to see some more synchronicities with an Angel Aura Quartz in your life, and it's really fun when that happens because it kind of reminds you that you're on the right track and you're doing all the right things, and your angels and your guides are with you and leading you, and you have nothing to worry about. So that is the beauty of the Angel Aura Quartz. This one is associated with the crown chakra, which is our direct connection to source energy, so really powerful stuff. I have not meditated with this little guy yet, but I think I will try that out soon. So that is the Angel Aura Quartz. All right, next up, this one is the first of this kind that I've ever purchased, and I wasn't planning on it. Usually I buy a bit of the bigger crystals, but I thought it was so stinking stunning that I could not help myself. So this is a Sunset Aura Quartz. Again, it's a man-made crystal, so it's a quartz. It fused by a man or a woman, you never know, by someone, by a human being, with the stuff that makes it look the way it does. So I thought this was so stunning, I couldn't resist it. Crystal has a strong connection to the sacral and the solar plexus chakra, which is easy to remember because those colors are associated with orange and yellow. Very good for those energy centers, which is right at our belly and below the belly. So that would be a good place to meditate with this. I also have been wanting to get into crystal grids lately, which I haven't ever done. I have one that I bought from Australia that I hang right in my front door area that I love, but I've never done them. So I thought this would just be like a great addition to a crystal grid because it's so little and it has a point on it. So that's the Sunset Aura Quartz, just like absolutely stunning. I couldn't get over it. I think I said this already, but it's from that same shop in Ocean Beach that I bought the Angel Aura Quartz. I haven't really done much with this guy yet except look at it and admire it, but I am excited to play around with it and see what happens. So that's that. All right, next up, oh my God, I was so excited when I found this. I think it is so beautiful, and I also found this in Pacific Beach in the little crystal shop that was in that like yoga type of place. Oh my God, when I saw this, I couldn't get over it, and it is this big kind of quartz clustered crystal that has a bit of something else in it, and the woman at the shop told me what it was, but I honestly, for the life of me, cannot remember, and I think it was kyanite or celestite. And I might just say celestite since celestite is now my new favorite crystal, so a mix of this with celestite would be phenomenal. But anyway, it's not like completely clear. It has this like beautiful blue aqua-y hue to it, which I think is just so cool. So when I saw this one, I was like, oh my God, I feel like I need that. I think this is a perfect crystal for me to have like on display because of the way it sits and the way it's like pretty big as well. So quartz crystal you probably see everywhere. It's like the master of all crystals, they say, because it has the power to amplify the energy of other crystals around it. And the way I remember that is because you think of clear quartz and you can think of like white. So white light is the combination of all colors. So it kind of encompasses the rainbow, it encompasses everything. It's all encompassing of the energies of what is around it, especially crystals. So not only can it amplify the energy of crystals and charge them, but it can also cleanse the energy. So it's a good thing to have if you have crystal jewelry that you kind of want to cleanse after a day of wear. So what you would do is just like hang it over this, and then you would be good to go for the next day and all recharged with your crystal jewelry self. So yeah, cleansing, amplifying, balancing. It's associated with all of our chakras. So it really has the power to put us in harmony with the energy that's flowing through our body. It's just really, really powerful, and I can feel it. I can feel the energy, oh my God. A quartz crystal is great for anything, especially someone who is beginning with crystals, because it's just really powerful in that it works with all of these chakras and can really help you with whatever healing intention you kind of put into it. So really cool, really powerful. I just think this crystal is like amazing. So at this point I have this by my desk and it's just a beautiful thing to look at, and I love it so much. I think that wraps up my crystal haul with all of the beautiful crystals that I picked out in Southern California. I really hope you enjoyed this video and hopefully gained a little something from it. I know I am like tingling now from all of this crystal energy, and it feels good. So I hope you can feel it through the computer screen and you are feeling all of the good crystal energy. I would love to know your thoughts, and if you have any favorite crystals, or if you're just getting into crystals, or if you've you've been playing around with them for a while, and maybe any suggestions you have for any new ones, or just overall your thoughts. I would love to hear, and I appreciate and love you so very much for being here on this journey with me. We're on this together, so cheers to you. Cheers, my spirulina, which always looks really yucky at the end. Cheers to you. I love you very, very much, and we'll see you very soon in my next video. Bye. Me, 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 me. Ah, la, 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 la. Itchy nose. Oh, now my eye's twitching. Spend a bit of time. When I went to Ocean Beach. Look at that leaf. Really incredible. In the Roman times, is that right? Hopefully. Back in the Roman times, Roman ages, what the hell? Algae. Oh,